You want to buy a Switch, but which one? Switch OLED is the latest model with big, bright, vibrant screen with better speaker, stand, and build quality. Switch offers the base experience at slightly lower quality than OLED, but is cheaper. Switch Lite removes rumble, detachable Joy-Cons, and an ability to connect to TV in a smaller package at an even lower price. When discussing this topic, most would go for Switch or OLED, and only few would lean towards the Lite due to its lack of features. But what if I told you the Lite has an advantage over these two models? Some are obvious, others aren't. So let's go through the pros of buying a Switch Lite. Portability. Every Switch models are portable. Compared to its competitors, it's definitely the king of portability. But let's remove the competitors out of equation since they're in a different category. Switch being a console and competitors being handheld PCs. Let's focus on Nintendo handhelds alone. Compared to its predecessors, it is big. Granted, it's much smaller when compared to its home console predecessor, but compared to Nintendo's previous handhelds, it's comical how large it is. Now, you might think it's not fair comparing Switch to 3DS since its form factor is different. 3DS being a foldable device and Switch being a candy bar style device. Okay, let's compare it to PSP and Vita. I mean, look at it. Switch is more powerful than any of these devices, but it's pretty darn big. And that's where Switch Lite comes in. It fits so nicely in the middle. It's the perfect middle ground between compact handhelds and large powerful Switch consoles. Its weight is also very appealing, sitting nicely between the 3DS and 3DS XL. It's still bigger than all these previous handhelds, but it's much more reasonable. Structural integrity. If you watched any review or comparison videos, this part sort of flies by. Not much focus or emphasis is put on this point, which is Switch Lite is far more durable than regular Switch and OLED. I know what everyone's gonna say. How can you claim Lite is more durable when there's gonna be a Joy-Con drift, and instead of sending only Joy-Cons to Nintendo, you'd have to send the entire device away for repair? That's a fair point. But let's say you own a Switch for 1 year. Out of those days, how many days do you reckon will be spent on sending your device for repair versus you gaming on your Switch? Yes, the repair experience will be worse than regular Switch. But when it's working, Switch Lite simply feels better in your hand. Let me demonstrate. This is a launch model Switch and an OLED model. Do you see this? I hope the camera can catch this. It wiggles in every direction. Every Switch models with detachable Joy-Cons do this to varying degrees. Some may be worse than others, like my OLED model. There's no worse feeling than when you're holding your Switch and it feels like you can rip the Joy-Cons off. I've had instances where I was gaming on a train and in the middle of gaming session, the Joy-Cons loosened and the Switch tablet unit dropped by millimeters. It's a scary feeling. This isn't really a huge deal breaker. It's not gonna break your device, but it's annoying nonetheless. Switch Lite, on the other hand, because it's one singular unit, does not suffer from this issue. Plus, since it's not a Joy-Con, it has a proper D-pad. Joy-Cons don't have D-pad because each Joy-Con has the ability to be used as an individual controller. So when put in sideways, each directional buttons become face buttons. Proper D-pad is incredibly useful in platformers, fighting games, etc. It's not the best D-pad Nintendo has made, but it's better than directional buttons. Price. It's an obvious point, but has to be made. Lite is very affordable. It's $150 cheaper than OLED at $299. During holidays, the price can drop to $249, and if you plan to buy used, it can be found for under $200 at an average price of 170 Australian dollars. That is cheaper than a used new 3DS XL. It's not a fair comparison since 3DSs have been overpriced for a couple of years, but it's crazy to think a current gen console is cheaper than last gen console. With all that said, I'm not saying you should buy a Switch Lite. I'm saying that it's very underappreciated and underrated. Switch Lite is a fantastic device. And if you're in the market for a Nintendo Switch, you should seriously consider buying a Lite. Not because it's the cheapest, but because it might be the best fit for you. That's it for now. Bye.